Time now to recap the 2015 men's soccer season here for the Liberty Flames. And to do that, we visit now with the head coach of the Flames, Jeff Alder. And, Coach, I know it was not wins and loss-wise the season that you guys wanted this year, finishing 6-10-1, but there were some bright spots from the season. A couple of impressive road wins over a JMU, over a High Point. Overall, though, when you look back at this season, what are a couple of words that kind of sum it up?
Well, it was very disappointing. For us, we feel we had a group that could compete for championships. When you go on the road and win at High Point, which is very difficult to do, you go on the road and beat a James Madison, which I don't think we've done since maybe early 90s. We had a group that we thought had the character, the talent, the resiliency to compete for a championship. Unfortunately, every one-goal game that has gone our way in the past did not go our way. And ultimately, you got to score goals. And we created chances, but we did not get timely goals in order to take pressure off our defense. So I think in terms of our results, it was very disappointing because we didn't put ourselves in position to win a championship, which we've done for the last 8 years. For the last 8 years, we've been to the finals, and I believe during that time, 3 schools have won championships. Coastal's got 3, Winthrop's got 2, Liberty's got 2. Actually, no, Winthrop's got 3, and we've got 2. But this year, we just did not get timely goals. Character-wise, off the charts. Spiritually, off the charts. Academically, everybody's taking care of business. So our guys checked all the boxes in who we are and what we're trying to do off the field and in the community. But it was just very disappointing. We couldn't find timely goals to win the games we needed to win. I'm indebted to this group, and I love this group. I mean, this group of seniors is special. The guys in that locker room, without hesitation, one day I'd love my daughter Grayson to bring a guy like that home. And so I really feel proud of this group in terms of what their ability was to overcome this year, in terms of some of the things not going our way. I love them for who they are and the stand they took for Christ. I love them for the fact that they came alongside my family, during a very difficult time as we battled breast cancer, and really I felt helped us in a time of our lives where we needed help, where we needed prayer, where we needed support. And so I'm indebted to that group. And like I told them, 10 years from now when they're coming back for alumni games, people won't talk about their records. They'll talk about their character. They'll talk about being above reproach and what they said and did on a daily basis. And I think more importantly, God will look at them and say, hey, you sacrificed yourselves for a greater cause, a greater good. And so that's why I'm indebted to this group. I love this group. I mean, it's a special group of men. Unfortunately, Nick, we just didn't get it done on the field. And so for us, we got to re-energize the guys coming back. We've got to recreate the culture and hopefully reinvent some things because it's unacceptable. Our ultimate goal is to bring honor and glory to God with what we say and do on and off the field. And unfortunately, we didn't get it done on the field in terms of our results. We got a chance to share the gospel with every team but one this year, and that was, for me, I was very proud of our guys because we had some tough losses, some last-second losses, some overtime losses, and for Tim Harbison, for Sachem Wilson, Tyler Bullock, for them to go, Khalil Carl, to go grab that other team and say, hey, will you pray with us? Let us tell you about our God. It wasn't easy to do, but I was proud of our guys because they did that and they gave us an opportunity to fulfill our mission. But we got to win more games. We got to be better.
As a coaching staff at this point now, heading into the offseason, where are you guys at in terms of recruiting, in terms of preparing for next year? What's the immediate focus right now?
Well, we've got 4 guys joining us this spring, and I think our campus and our supporters are going to like these 4 guys in terms of their character, in terms of their ability. We've got some guys coming in that we feel can help us score goals and create chances. And then we had a couple guys, Tucker Chastain and Giovanni Chavez, 2 guys that we thought were going to help us score goals this year, who had to take red shirts because of some injuries. So they'll be back full go this spring. And then ultimately we started, really the day after our season finished, we took 1 day off and then got right back after it in the weight room and conditioning because we've got to get better. And so we've got a group coming in this spring. 4 guys will join our program this spring as mid-year guys that we feel will help us. The 2 guys coming off of red shirts will be back and be allowed to play games against Virginia Tech and VCU. And I look at our young guys, Nico Bellardi, who got huge minutes, Kevin Mendoza, Gio Murillo, Alex Dominguez. We've got a bunch of young guys who played significant roles this year for us as starters and got key minutes. And those guys, I've seen them in the weight room. They're in there, 4 times a week, 5 times a week. They're in there on their own because we can only do a certain amount of hours. These guys are in there every day. They're playing pickup soccer every day. So I've got a group that's galvanized, a group that says, hey, this left a bad taste in our mouth. We've got to change this thing. And so we've got a group coming back that we really like, a group coming in that we really like. And so right now all of our energies are focused on getting these guys through finals and then finishing up recruiting, tying up some loose ends, and then saying, okay, let's get ready for the spring season and then reinvent, who we are and what we're trying to do. But our seniors, Nick, I love those guys. I love this was a special group. This is a group that'll go down in history, I feel, as one of our best groups in terms of checking all the boxes. Unfortunately, we just didn't win any of the close games. We didn't get a timely goal when we needed it, and that's sad because I thought we had the character, that deserved to go on and do something great. But unfortunately, it gets back to Romans 8:28. All things work together for good for those who love God, for those who are called according to his purpose. This group of men was called here for this specific reason this fall. I don't understand it, can't explain it, but we've got to cling to that moving forward because it was a special group and we wanted to honor those guys for their willingness to serve Jesus through soccer.
You mentioned Kevin Mendoza getting all honorable mention, all-conference honors this year for him, all-conference honors for Tim Harbison, as well as academic all-conference for Sachin Wilson as well. So certainly a lot of individual accomplishments there too. But lastly, just kind of end on this note, as you said, this is not something that this team's used to, having a losing season and not competing for the championship. But how how trying was it on you this year, just with so much going on personally and just, having to get through this season? And, how much did the guys help you get through this season?
Oh, they provided strength and energy through this whole thing. My wife's been through 5 surgeries, 5 different surgical procedures now in about 6.5, 7 months. And our guys stood beside us every step of that way. And they provided, I think, a lot of energy and enthusiasm in the life of my family during this struggle. But I was listening to Dabo Sweeney when they put on that pizza party for 30,000 people the other day, and he finished it with Galatians 6:9. Don't grow weary in doing good, because in due time you will reap if you do not faint. And that's a verse early in the year we talked to our guys about. Then when we gave the seniors a chance to share Bible verses and do devotionals before different games, as we were in the midst of losing like 3 or 4 games, Tim Harbison shared that with the group. And when I heard Dabo talk about that the other day in front of those 30,000 people, I think that's our journey. Every day, don't grow weary in doing good. Keep doing the right things with the right people. And that's what, for 25 years we've tried to do here as I've been involved with our program coaching here. And our guys, for me, were salt and light. And I shared at the season end banquet with them, they were salt and light in the lives of me and my family this year. And that's why we're forever indebted to those guys. And the seniors I hurt for because I love this group. You love each group differently, but this group will have a special place in our hearts forever because of what they helped us go through this year. And for me, it was a special banquet because we weren't celebrating a winning season. We weren't celebrating a championship, but we were selling a group of men who got it, who had that it quality, and through their 4.5 years here, they got it. And so I think we've done our job preparing them to leave Liberty better than when we got them. And so eventually, like I told them, Lord willing, God will say, hey, well done, good and faithful servant. You were faithful over this process during your time here. But it's a good group. It's a great group.
Coach, we appreciate your time and wish you the best coming up here the Christmas season, and look forward to chatting with you again here in the near future.
All right, thanks, Nick. Go Flames.
That's the head coach of the Liberty Flames, Jeff Alder, and my name is Nick Pierce for the Liberty Flames Sports Network.